Good afternoon. Welcome to Fishing for Bees. It's April 30th. It's about 61 degrees, 2:30 in the afternoon. So we had a lot of fun giving bees away this weekend to colonies, but unfortunately that kept me out of here. And I think we were lucky. My swarm trap up in the tree behind us, directly above 8, has nothing in it, which is great. So less talking at the beginning and more working. I'll be back with you in a minute. First thing we're going to do is remove all the mouse guards in the quilt boxes. I will say that 6 here looks a bit problematic, and you'll see what I'm going to be doing with 8 in the nuke here soon, and I'm grateful for these weaker colonies. I'll be right back. All right, so here we go. Robinhood swarm management. 6, they don't look like they have a queen, which is good for them that it happened around now. So what I've done is lined it up to receive 2 brood frames, hopefully with a swarm cell. Maybe we can save that one. And then 8 is weak. Same thing, I got an opening in the center there to receive some brood frames. And the nuke, same thing, got an opening to receive some brood frames. So we got to go through 5. We got to go through 0. We got to go through 1. And we got to go through 4. When going through them, we are looking at their population. If their population is too strong and there's tons of brood, we're going to donate it to the 3 I just mentioned. If I find a good viable queen cell, you're not capped yet, I'm going to make sure that that one ends up in 6. See if we can't requeen that. So that's where we're at. Still more work. So that right there was sketchy. Next door in 4 had 2 capped queen cells with decent brood on each one. So good worker population on each brood frame. 1 queen cell on each one of them. So I chucked them in 6. Problems being they're already capped. 4 could still swarm. Problems being they're right next door to each other, and depending on pheromones, I don't know, the queen could return to the wrong one. So this right here is a perfect example of why I like keeping swarms. If I was standing over $400 to $500 investment in each one of these colonies and making these sketchy ass moves, I'd probably be nervous. I'd probably be second guessing myself, but it's not even May 1st. I probably left some eggs behind in 4. If they do swarm, they can make another swarm cell. Let's not forget I got my insurance policy up there in the tree. Hopefully I catch a swarm from my yard. I haven't yet. My own bees haven't swarmed since we've been here, but it's coming. Because man, we're just keeping bees the best we can and not putting too much pressure on ourselves, but we make lots of honey. So anyways, that's 6 and 4 done, and boy, those are sketchy. So this is 1, and this is what I keep seeing when I open these up. Rip-roaring colony, ready to go into honey production next week. I hope these girls aren't angry anymore. I just broke one of my rules. To hold off on the angry colonies until later. taking the brood, not the bees. What goes in the middle? 2 starter strip frames. Makes them angry, right in the middle of the brood nest. Makes them think twice about swarming because they just lost, I don't know, 10,000 bees that are going to be born in a couple days. So these girls are going to get the rest of the fondant that was on there. This thing is rocking. We're close enough to a flow that I don't need to give them a honey frame. If we're not in a flow, they're not going to be able to draw out those starter strip frames, which is fine by me to slow everything down. So I'm not seeing a ton of charged swarm cells, and we've seen swarms all over Michigan. I didn't feed these bees sugar syrup in the spring. I didn't try and jump the season, not knowing when the season was coming, so I'm grateful that I did that. That was a good move. Half a fondant. So there you go. I don't need to give them a honey frame. I gave them a little insurance policy, right? They're not the best girls. Should have did them last, but we'll close them up. Good, done. Next. And all my bees. Oh yeah, I gave some away. So anyways, just wrap this up. 6 got 2 capped swarm cells from 4, along with some brood on each one of those frames. So 2 frames of brood, 1 capped queen cell on each of them, dropped in the center. And because that had a late season queen failure, it looks like no eggs, no nothing. So we'll see what happens with that one. But 4 needed to be knocked back. 8 went into a double. They got a lot of frames, I think total in 4 brood frames. So that's going to have the possibility of pushing that into swarming. You still have to watch it when you do this. You could, knock one back and boost one up so far that, yeah, the one that you knocked back isn't swarming, but the one you boosted up is. So we're going to hope that 4 doesn't still swarm. Those were capped. That's problematic, as I said earlier. 1 got knocked back hard. 0 got knocked back. The nuke got knocked back. 5 got knocked back. So all of those 4, 1, 0, and 5 were donor colonies. And 6 received, 8 received, and the nuke received from those ones that I mentioned. So in whatever combination, I can't really remember. But everybody got knocked back really hard. Queen cells were crushed except for the 2 I told you about. And in the place of the brood frames that were stolen were starter strip frames. So it took a while. I came to the yard with a plan of possibly treating after this. That's not going to happen. It's just too chaotic. It'd be silly. I'd be missing too many bees. Middle of the day. A lot of problems with oxalic acid vaporization treating at this time, especially with the hive equalization that I did and making everybody mad. But I like to operate at about 10 to 12 colonies. 7 going into honey production, I think, is a good strong possibility if we can fix 6. That's a little bit less than what I'd like, but it's 2 to 3 more than I had last year. So hey, we'll take it. This is Free Beekeeping. Thanks for watching. I hope your bees are well.